2, 1. Captain of the Kraken here, and I'm here with Ali K, Prince Ali we call him, because he's a super kind guy, acts like a prince most of the time. So, and you know what? He's from Egypt, so he could very well be descendant of the pharaohs. He's an engineer from Waterloo University, and he is a long-time immigrant to Canada. And welcome to the show, my friend and colleague, Ali K.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. So, I was wondering, first of all, how do you like being an engineer?
Specifically, the career of being an engineer or working as an engineer?
Yeah, I guess, did you find working as an engineer interesting?
I personally never went into a career of being an engineer.
So,
I haven't had the chance yet.
So I hear you're testing gold using chemistry. Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely.
And so if you want to tell me about the process, how do you find out if there's gold in your rocks that you have that you've dug out somewhere?
So basically, what they do is mining companies send us cores that they dig all over a field in a grid format, and basically we get those samples. We crush them, then we mill them, and then they come to us as a powder. That's where it comes to the lab, and then the next step it goes through is they mix that with some other chemicals. So that milled sample, they mix it with some borax, some a mix of like a cocktail of chemicals, basically.
Does that break and separate all the other elements within the sample?
That basically lowers its melting point and makes everything in there melt. And then they add some, basically it's called litharge, just like lead oxide. So it's mostly that, the flux. Basically it melts all the gold and silver and the other PGMs, platinum group metals. Like
Wait, what kind of temperatures are we talking about here?
So it goes up to about 1200 degrees Celsius. Close to 1270 degrees.
And that's lower than the normal. What's the boiling point of gold normally?
If it's pure, I believe it's 1,000 degrees.
So I thought you said, so they're overheating. I thought the chemicals reduce the temperature that they need.
Because it's a mixture of rock. It's not a pure gold sample. It's milled. It's a milled rock sample, so it's mostly rock, and that's why in the end
so you have to melt everything
because it ends up with glass too. So you have glass in there. So the mixture of the borax and the lead oxide and all the rest of the flux basically lowers the melting temperature to melt all the glass, all the basically the entire rock sample. So you get everything it turns into glass is lighter. It goes on top. And then the lead oxide melts, becomes a lead button at the bottom. So it comes out with the lead button on the top and the glass on the bottom. You break it, you get that lead button, and then you melt that lead button. You remove all the lead out of it by dissolving it. You put it in a copel and you put it in another oven, and all the lead basically vaporizes off of it.
Hold on, can I stop you right there because this is a health focused podcast. I was wondering. You guys doing this in a fume hood, I guess?
Yes,
okay, that's
everything's
good.
done in fume hoods.
You have to wear masks?
We have to wear masks with P100 filters, the flat ones. Right? Definitely. And the big furnaces where the lead comes out, it gets vaporized and comes out, go through a scrubber. And that scrubber removes the lead before it's released out.
Oh, thank God.
Yes, to comply with environmental regulations. You can't just release that into the air.
You wouldn't believe how much lead and mercury is released into this environment every year. It's hundreds of thousands of tons. It's crazy. It's super bad for human health. But so that being said, I was just wondering do all the rock samples have lead in them that you get?
No, they don't have lead. We add the lead into it because basically what happens is all the gold and silver and platinum, palladium, whatever's in there, it all seeps into the lead and goes to the bottom.
Oh wow, because lead's really reactive, eh?
Because lead just like a sponge absorbs all the precious metals into it, and it just sinks to the bottom because it's heavy. All the other clay and rock material turns into glass. when you melt rock, it becomes glass. So it just becomes glass, and because it's lighter, it's molten glass. It's on top of the lead button, and basically you separated all the dirt and clay out, and all the precious metals into the lead button. And then all you need to do is remove that lead, vaporize that lead, and you're just left with a tiny button of silver, gold, platinum, palladium, and a few other precious metals in there.
So do you just weigh it by volume when it's liquid, and then you know, like, basically, like, what kind of, if it is within that range of weight? I imagine all those metals are probably the same spot on the periodic table, right, around lead and gold, because they're
Yeah.
one element off, right?
They're close to, they're around the, it's basically called PGMs, platinum group metals, PGMs, and it's all around platinum. So you have platinum, palladium, osmium, iridium, all those basically.
Oh, do you ever come across, like, while you're doing that, like, radioactive materials? Or probably not. I'm guessing.
Definitely not.
Because they would have tested that for radiation before they even brought it to your lab. Thank goodness again, right? So you want to drink? I got some tea here, some apple cider, homemade. We got some cupcakes here. No, these are some macaroons and donuts. If you're interested, but you probably don't want to eat those on set.
Thank you for your
We
hospitality.
have those to all our guests. We feed and wine and dine them. How about a lemon for your drink? Are you interested?
No, thank you.
Lemons are actually extremely healthy in many ways. You guys can probably look that up elsewhere on the internet, but very many benefits and delicious. So, I can eat one whole.
This is gonna be edited for sure.
Yeah. Sometimes I peel the peel off because, it gets you get your body moving. See, my face is moving. This reaction to lemons. You guys ever? How about you, Ali? Do you? You guys? No one's watching this yet. We don't have 1 million viewers. Come on, guys, like and subscribe, by the way. But if
until
you
we
like
see
what
you next time on live.
So me and Ali hit it off right away when we met because I went to Egypt and Egyptians are super cool. I learned a little bit Arabic, Egyptian Arabic. Isaac.
Koyes, alhamdulillah.
Nice. So that means he's doing all right. So, I guess I could ask you, how is it, what is it like, how has your experience been coming to Canada? You've been here for 10 years now. Obviously, like, no rush to leave anytime because you've been here so long, but
Definitely.
obviously love it here. I mean, you're always rocking your Raptors hats and stuff. I thought he was raised here because his accent's so good, right? Until you get to know him for, like, talk to someone a bit and then figure stuff out, right? But so anything particular about that, like, that you thought was interesting about coming to Canada, whatever? You came here when you were 17, right?
Yes, I came here when I was 17. Definitely the first thing you face is a culture shock. So you have to learn all these new things, how to navigate the streets, how the bus system works, stuff like that, because it's completely different over there. And back there, I only took the bus to school, so I never took the bus to go out. I was always going out with my parents, stuff like that. So
so navigating the streets, we'll say here, is a bit easier, or maybe not as hazardous as the streets of or you were in Dubai though, right?
Yeah.
Mostly?
Well, I was actually in the capital. I was in Abu Dhabi, capital of the Emirates.
I hear that's an extremely safe, law enforced
Definitely.
society they got there, eh?
Very safe. People are very nice there. I personally like it here more than there.
Yeah. So what year did you? How old were you when you moved to Dubai from Cairo though?
I moved from Dubai to Cairo. I never moved from Dubai to Cairo.
But I thought you were born in Cairo though.
So I was born in Cairo, and basically when I was a baby, like a couple of months old, my parents went to the Emirates.
Okay, so you lived your whole life there.
Pretty much, I lived there.
Before you came here. He's been an adult. He's Canadian now, right? So
pretty much.
has there been any issues that you would like to warn anyone about or prepare themselves if they're wanting to come here as an immigrant and maybe get their citizenship and stuff? Any advice? What they should do right away? Like,
Definitely. I guess a couple pieces of advice is first thing is when you come here, something you don't realize is you have to pay a huge amount of tax. And for most people, your biggest ambition, like your biggest thing you can achieve, is to be basically middle class in this society, but with the way you work and the way you're taxed. Unless you can break out of that rat race, break out of that system, and do your own thing, and somehow figure out a way to make a lot of money, then life here is not going to be as lavish as it was back home for you. That some jobs are kind of easier or based on people vouching for you or someone high up vouching for you, stuff like that. You can kind of get far in life there, and you can have a lot of servants. You can have like a driver. You can have a chauffeur. You can have maids. You can have butlers if you want. If you're that rich, like depends on how you want. Like,
so basically, if you get a good career, like you're a doctor, lawyer, engineer, whatever, you're set for life compared to like most people, eh?
Not really. Depends on where you are over there in Egypt. Like a lot of doctors, they don't actually make a lot of money. It really depends on where. A lot of places in Egypt are actually like a big percentage of the population, like I think 50% or 60% are below the poverty line. So it's actually like Egypt is kind of like, I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of hierarchical, kind of elitist, basically.
So it's harder to get into that upper echelon. It's all about who you know more than here. Eh?
Basically, yeah. If you have money and you know all the rich people and stuff like that, you can kind of get far in life. And like I said before, it's like because of corruption. Like if you know someone high up, you can get a position. You can get stuff like that. You can get out of trouble with the police.
I mean, I guess that's kind of true everywhere in the world, though, right?
It is, but you know,
more so there, right? Of course.
Yeah, but